What's up guys, welcome back to another BTD gaming video, and today we have a new deck profile and we're going to be looking at Mathmech here in Master Duel. Now this deck just got new support from the most recent Master Duel update, and that support comes in with Mathmech Circular. We'll talk about this card in a second, but let me just say this card really upgrades this deck in a big way, really gives this deck a huge boost, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But we're going to go through the card by card here and look at some replays to see how the deck does. So first we have Effect Veiler. It's useful as a hand trap, but it can also be used as a small world target. Next we have the best card in Master Duel, which is Max C, so 3 of that. Link Infraflyer. This card is also used as a small world target, all to get your Mathmech Circular into your hand. We also have 3 Ash Blossom. Next, getting into the Mathmech cards, we have Mathmech Sigma. This is a card that you send to the graveyard to special summon it onto the field as another body for material. What's cool about the Mathmechs is they all have effects that can target another card and special summon themselves in some way, and Sigma can special summon itself from the grave. And what's great is Circular can send Sigma from the grave, so right off the bat you can have 2 bodies onto the field all at once. So we have 2 Mathmech Sigma, we have 1 Mathmech Nabla, we have 3 Mathmech Edition, which can be useful again as another body to special summon, but it also increases the attack of a card on the field, so you can boost your monsters and get this guy on the field for more link material or Xyz material, whatever you need it for. And then we have Mathmech Subtraction, which if addition adds attack points, subtraction subtracts attack points, and it can also special summon itself onto the field just like Mathmech Addition. And then we have Mathmech Multiplication. Next we have Mathmech Diameter, which was kind of the go-to Mathmech normal summon. When it is normal summon, you can target 1 level 4 Cyburst monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Obviously you want this guy to be special summoned once you've used up some Mathmechs as material already to get more material back onto the field. So we have 3 Mathmech Diameter, very important card in this deck. And last but not least, we have Mathmech Circular. So this card alone kind of does everything the deck wants you to do. It boosts the deck so much. It can send the card, it can send Sigma, you can search, you can special summon with this card. You can add 1 Mathmech spell or trap in your deck to your hand, so you would add Mathmech Equation or Superfactorial or Induction, which is very important to your strategy. Again, this card does everything the deck needs. This is the card you want in your opening hand, whether it's using Signet Mining to get it, or Small World to get it, or whatever. Any way you can get Mathmech Circular in your hand, it'll do so much for you. Now, your deck isn't completely dependent on Circular being in your hand. As long as you can get 2 Mathmechs onto the field in some way, you can still make some plays. What's great about the Mathmechs is they can be very resilient. Even if something gets negated, you're still using them as material. They still have effects in the grave, or they have special summoning abilities from the hand. So the Mathmechs are very resilient, and Mathmech Circular is, I think, by far the best Mathmech monster main deck card in the deck. So Mathmech Circular is the new support card from the new update here in Master Duel. So you need 3 of this if you want this deck to go to the next level like it can. And rounding out the monsters, we have 3 Parallel Exceed. Again, just a great card, get another body onto the field as material. Going into the spell, we have 1 Foolish Burial. Now Mathmech Circular kind of turns 1 Foolish Burial into 4 Foolish Burials for your Mathmech Sigma, so it doesn't hurt to have your copy of Foolish Burial in this deck for that reason. Plus, getting Mathmechs into the grave is good because you have abilities to special summon them from the grave. We have 3 Signet Mining. This is just a Cyburst Searcher, this is a Cyburst themed deck, so obviously this is a must-have 3 of in this deck. We have Mathmech Equation. You target, it's a monster reborn for Mathmech essentially, and it gains 1000 attack. only until the end of the turn. So 2 Mathmech Equation, we have 2 Small World. Just another way to search your Mathmech cards. A lot of times you'll discard one and then banish your Link Amplifier or your Effect Veiler to search for your Circular. So Small World, very, very useful. 2 Called by the Grave to negate People's Ashes and Maxis, and that rounds out the spells. And for our 3 traps, we have 2 Mathmech Superfactorial. Now this card is such a blowout card, because if you activate this at the right time on your opponent's turn, you're going to have enough Mathmechs in your graveyard to use this. So you can special summon up to 3 Mathmech monsters from your grave, and then either use them to special summon a Synchro monster or an Xyz monster. So what people do is, during their opponent's turn, activate Superfactorial, special summon 3 of the Mathmechs, and then Xyz summon all of this on your opponent's turn. Xyz summon your Prime Mathmech Laplacian. We'll talk about that card in a second, and you'll see why that's so good. And for the last card in the main deck, we have Mathmech Induction, which is just a trap used for destruction for your opponent. So that's the main deck. Now let's look into the extra deck, which in most cyber strategies can be pretty tight. So you're going to basically need almost all of these cards. We have Geomathmech Final Sigma. This is one of the big boss monsters in this deck. It can double its attack when battling an opponent's monster if it's in the extra monster zone. This card is crazy. This is kind of your end of the game card right here. We have Prime Mathmech Laplacian. Now, like we just talked about with the Superfactorial, when this card gets onto the field, and with Superfactorial you can get this onto the field during your opponent's turn, you can detach the 3 materials, and depending on the materials you use, alright, you can, for one, send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, non-targeting by the way, and send 1 spell trap your opponent controls to the graveyard. So this can all these are non-targeting. Alright, so this can totally mess up your opponent's board. It grabs a card from the hand, gets rid of stuff on the field, all non-targeting, and you can apply this effect during your opponent's turn if you're able to activate Mathmech Superfactorial. So this play is a huge blowout play here for Mathmech, so you need that. We have 2 Prime Mathmech Alambertian. So this card can essentially tribute another monster to special summon a level 4 Mathmech from your hand or graveyard. A lot of times you're going to be using it to tribute your Link Devotee to activate your Link Devotee's effect. So we have 2 of these. We have 1 Zeus, we have Link Disciple, and Link Devotee. Essentially, these are just Link ones you get onto the board very easily. Link Devotee, if it's tributed from the Alambertian effect, you can special summon 2 tokens, which can be used to link summon more monsters. We have Link Garibo, another useful Link 1. We have Cyber's Wicked. This can essentially search a Cyber's monster from your deck to your hand. If a monster is special summoned to a zone it points to, so you use your Link Devotee to get 2 more tokens. You have other monsters on the board. You can link summon this, and then maybe link some of your Link Garibo to an arrow, and then you can search another Mathmech monster, which is really good. We have 1 Update Jammer. We have 1 IP Masquerena, which is pretty easy to make in this deck, again, so that you can activate its effect during your opponent's turn. We have Splash Mage to get to your Access Code Talker. We have Transcode Talker. Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess, which is actually very easy to make. Again, if you have a setup where your final board is Wicked, Link Garibo, and IP Masquerena, which is very, very doable, on your opponent's turn, you can activate IP Masquerena to get your Apollousa back there, out there, and it is protected, and you can use its negation, which is really good. And then our last card here, we have Access Code Talker to close out the game. So yeah, so this is the deck. I think this deck is very, very solid. In the TCG, it did okay for a little bit there. Obviously, it was kind of power crept, but I think in Master Duel's current format, I think this deck can do very, very well. So yeah, we're going to take a look at some replays, and we're going to see how we do. Alright, so this first replay is actually a shorter one, but this will put on full display the power of negation that this deck has. We're going up against Sword Soul. We draw our Mathmech Circular, which is great. We're going to activate our Signet Mining, discard our Flyer to add a diameter to our hand. We're going to activate our Mathmech Circular to send our Sigma, special summon Circular, activate Sigma to special summon it from grave. We're then going to activate our Circular to add a Super Factorial to hand, which is crazy. We're then going to Xyz for an Alibertian. We're going to then detach the two materials to add a Mathmech Induction. Again, great search ability. Normal summon Diameter to special summon the Circular back from the graveyard. We're then going to link some stuff off. We're going to add Link Disciple. We're going to link off Diameter for Link Devotee. Devotee effect is going to activate and be tributed by Alibertian's effect, which allows us to special summon the Circular. Devotee is going to activate from the grave, which allows us to special summon 2 tokens. Now we're going to link off. We're going to add Cyber's Wicked, and we're kind of full combo here. We're going to do Lingaribo off the other token, activate Cyber's Wicked to banish our Disciple to add another Mathmech Diameter for our turn 2. We're going to use our 2 monsters for material for IP Masquerena. We have our Super Factorial, we have our Induction, we have our Masquerena. We're pretty set up. Our opponent's going to activate Sword Soul Emergence, but we're going to Ash Blossom that to negate it, but our opponent does have Called by the Grave. Alright, not a big deal. We're going to activate Max C anyway, just in case, and then we're going to also activate our IP Masquerena to get our Apollousa onto the field. So this 5 chain link is going to resolve. We're going to link these off for Apollousa, so we have more negation onto the field. Maxi will resolve, Called by will resolve to negate the Ash Blossom. And then our opponent's Sword Soul Emergence is going to activate. They're going to add their long one. They're going to normal summon Moye, activate Moye, but we're going to negate it with our Apollousa, so they can't do their Sword Soul shenanigans. Alright, and then our opponent's going to activate their long wand. They're going to send their other Sword Soul, but we're going to negate that, and our opponent is kind of out of options here, and that's kind of it for their turn, it looks like. And they're just going to surrender because we kind of have everything we need to end the game on the next turn. And here we go for our second replay of the video. And we drew a Small World, which means we will be able to get a Circular into our hand. We're going to activate Small World. We're going to banish Flyer, banish the Effect Veiler to add Mathmech Circular. So now we have everything we need. We're going to activate Circular, send our Sigma, special summon our Circular. Our opponent will Infinite Impermanence. Now that's annoying, but that doesn't end our turn because we can still special summon our Sigma. We're still going to be able to get the Xyz off. We just don't get that extra search. We're going to activate our Alibertian. We're going to get a Diameter. We already have a Super Factorial in hand, so not getting the search from Circular isn't a huge deal. Normal summon Diameter, special Circular from grave, Diameter's effect. We're going to link Disciple. This is kind of the common line of play here. Disciple, Devotee, Devotee activates effect. Alibertian will tribute the Devotee, special summon Circular, activate Devotee from the grave. Devotee is going to special summon 2 tokens. We're going to link off for Cyber's Wicked. We're going to link off for Lingaribo. And then we're going to activate Cyber's Wicked to banish our Disciple to add another Diameter for next turn. We're then going to link off our 2 Mathmechs for an IP Masquerena. And then we can get our Apollousa next turn. We have our Super Factorial, we have a Maxi, we have everything we need. They activate Impermanence, but we're just going to chain Masquerena to that anyway. To get our Apollousa on board, we're going to activate Maxi just for good measure. and these are going to resolve, Maxi resolves, IP resolves. Get rid of these two to get an Appaloosa Bow of the Gods onto the field. So now Imperm doesn't resolve. They have a Nebula Dragon and a Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. They're going to special summon, but we are going to activate a Super Factorial. We're going to special summon 3 Mathmechs from the grave. So Circular, Diameter, and Sigma. We're going to overlay them for a Laplacian. We're then going to detach 2 of them. We're going to get rid of a card in our opponent's hand, and we're going to get rid of the Blue Eyes. So now there's really not much our opponent can do here. And now it's our turn, and this is pretty much the end of the game. We have Mathmech Edition to increase the attack and special summon itself. We have our Diameter, the special summon Circular. We're going to link those off for Splash Mage. We're going to get our Access Code Talker onto the board. Again, this is a pretty much game. Talker will increase, our opponent sees the end and will surrender, and we take the win. Alright, so this is our final replay of the video, and ooh, our opponent has the new mutant battlefield there. So we have a Diameter, but we also have Signet Mining, which is really good. We're going to activate Signet Mining to discard 1, but discard multiplication to add Circular. And we're just going to go through the same combo again. Activate Circular, send Sigma, special summon Circular, activate Sigma, special summon Sigma, activate Circular to add Super Factorial. We already have Induction, we already have Diameter. We're going to overlay for Alan Bershin, activate Alan Bershin to detach 2, and we're going to add an addition to our hand. We're then going to normal summon our Diameter. Our Diameter is going to special summon Circular. We're going to link these off for Link Disciple and Link Devotee. Again, very similar, basically the same plays we've been seeing this whole time. Devotee will activate, Alan Bershin will tribute it to get its effect. And we're going to special summon Circular, activate Devotee to special summon 2 tokens. And then we're going to link these off. We have our Cyber's Wicked. We have our Lingaribo, and we're going to activate Cyber's Wicked to get another search, banish Disciple, we'll get our other Diameter, we're then going to overlay, we have our IP Masquerena. We are set up pretty good. We're going to set Super Factorial, Induction, and Call by the Grave, and see how our opponent responds. Looks like we're going up against Branded Despia. They summon a Luber. We're going to activate Masquerena, and then this is going to resolve, so we're going to get our Appaloosa on board. But our opponent's Aluber is going to resolve, and they add the Branded Opening. They're going to now chain Super Poly, discard Branded Opening, use the Lingaribo and the Aluber as material for Masquerade Blazing Dragon. Boy, this is going to be annoying. And activate, but we have our Super Factorial, but we're going to get damage from Masquerade, and we're going to special summon our 3, but they have Called by the Grave, and they're going to banish one of our guys. But we are going to activate Induction. That'll come in handy later, so it's not the end of the world right now. We're just not going to get the big blow up play that we wanted. So they are going to banish our Circular, which kind of sucked. We are still going to be able to special summon 3 monsters, or 2 monsters rather. We have it, so we can make another Alan, and then our opponent is just going to activate, and we're going to activate our Alan, and we're going to activate our Induction to get rid of their Masquerade Dragon. All of this is going to resolve, but Branded Opening resolves for the protection. Completely forgot about that. We search another Mathmech Circular. They get rid of our Appaloosa, and we're just going to have to try and make do. They activate Branded Fusion, but we're going to negate with Alan Bershin because of the Diameter effect, which does have negation to it, so that's good at least. But they have another Polymerization in hand. Alright, well, they're going to get another Masquerade Blazing Dragon, and what's annoying about this is they're going to activate their Ad Libium, but we're going to Call by the Grave to negate the Ad Libium and banish it. A lot going on this turn. Not a lot going right for us, but we're hanging in there. We're down to 3,500 life points, so we have to keep an eye on that because of Masquerade. Now there's 2 on there. So let's see how we can get out of this one. So they're going to end their turn. Now it's our turn. We have a Circular, we have a Diameter. Signet Mining isn't bad. And then we're going to activate our addition. We just need to get rid of these Masquerades. So we're going to attack for 500, get rid of 1. and Aluber is going to activate and summon itself. The Masquerade, I attacked the wrong one. I should attack the other one, so it was banished, but it was going to special summon itself anyway. We have Splash Mage, and we're still in good shape here because we have the Circular, so we can... Oh yeah, called by. Whatever, we have Mathmech Diameter, which can special summon, so we have enough materials for Access Code Talker, which is going to come in really clutch here. We're going to bash, or use Splash Mage to gain attack, banish to destroy Aluber. We're then going to banish to destroy one Masquerade. Both of these are going to be banished, by the way, because of their effects. And then we're going to get rid of the other Masquerade. So we're actually in a really good spot, even though our opponent had a lot of counterplay to our turn, and they're just going to set, and we might be winning here. We're going to activate Access Code Talker, bash Cyber's Wicked to destroy their monster. We're going to activate Cyanide Mining, discard the Small World, add the Diameter. We're going to activate Mathmech Circular, get rid of the Sigma. We're going to special summon Circular, normal summon Diameter, activate Circular, and these are going to resolve. Circular, we get the search for Super Factorial. Mathmech Diameter, we can special summon Subtraction. And we are going to make our Geo Mathmech File Sigma. So we're going to go in for a lot of damage here. We're in a really good spot. We also have this Super Factorial, which is really going to help if our opponent draws crazy, which they do not. We're going to activate Super Factorial to special summon the 3 Mathmechs, which will allow us to finally exceed summon our Laplacian onto the board. We're going to activate it to get rid of this card, which is a Edge-Inch Chain, but we can negate it with the Laplacian, so our opponent really has nothing they can do, and now we just have an open board to win the game here. So we're just going to draw, and we're going to play the game out, go in the battle phase, attack directly with Laplacian, attack directly with Final Sigma, and we take down Branded Despia. Alright, well, there we go, and yeah, so what's crazy about this deck is how much you can do on your opponent's turn to really mess up their board, and how resilient this deck can be regardless of what your opponent can do, the way it's able to recycle resources and special summon from the hand or graveyard, how much you can search from the deck to hand. This deck can be crazy. It has negation in the extra deck from your Xyz monsters and from your Appaloosa. Access Code Talker is very easy to get on the board. Again, Appaloosa is very easy to get onto the board. So yeah, this deck is good as long as you get your Circular or you get a couple Mathmechs and your opponent doesn't draw insane negation wise. This deck, the sky's the limit with this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's very easy to learn. Yeah, there's a lot of moves to it, but once you get the hang of it, it can be very fun to play. And again, like I said, all the stuff you can do on your opponent's turn to control their board and to just end the game your next turn with your big win condition, blowout monsters. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video on Mathmech here at Master Duel. Mathmech Circular made a huge difference in this deck. I think makes this deck much more viable to play, and hopefully you can pick it up and try it out. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Later.